All right, welcome back to the Beast Game Podcast. And this is going to be a review for Daredevil Season 3 on Netflix. It's created by Drew Goddard.
Drew Goddard as in the one that directed...
He did Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, I know. Don't remind me.
Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yeah, oh shit. Really? Huh. I mean, I knew he did that,
Did
but
he
I know
look
he
at
did
that?
for Daredevil.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was a good movie. And he's also doing X-Force.
Oh, shit.
But it stars Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, a.k.a. Daredevil, and Vincent D'Onofrio. And the synopsis is a blind lawyer by day, vigilante by night as Daredevil. The whole arc of this, and it's getting kind of screwed up now because Disney's rolling back some of these Netflix properties that involve Marvel characters. Daredevil, because he's blind, his senses are heightened, kind of helps him fight crime. So first season, main antagonist was Kingpin, but there's also this angle with a group called The Hand. And that kind of goes a little bit more mystical, but the Kingpin is more mobster type. Season 2 involves the Punisher, Daredevil trying to stop him and also trying to stop the Kingpin again. So Season 3 also involves the Kingpin. So the Kingpin at the end of Season 2 went to jail. We got him off the streets. And now the Kingpin says, hey, well, I want to cooperate. And if you release me, help you bring down all these criminals. So focuses on Kingpin targeting the Albanians, meaning the FBI releases him, puts him under house arrest. So the Kingpin is involved in all these criminal activities. And then Daredevil, or Matt Murdock, goes a little bit deeper into the Daredevil persona. So he's hiding out as Daredevil and not showing up as Matt Murdock. People don't know where he is, so Karen and Foggy don't know where he is, hasn't seen him since the Defenders. That's the arc of this season. They're trying to figure out what's going on with Kingpin. Why is he out? Is he actually up to the no good? Keith, what do you think of Daredevil Season 3?
Started off kind of slow. They followed the same formula beats that the first two seasons did. Episodes 1 and 2, intro to the story arc, setup of what's happening, where it's going, and basically showing where Matt Murdock is in his head. Then you've got episode 4, maybe 4 or 5 is where he has the big single shot fight scene, sets the action up for the rest of the season. It was a really good scene where he's going to a prison trying to get information on Fisk. It was a damn good, well choreographed fight sequence.
That scene reminded me of True Detective.
True Detective,
Yep.
Everything's popping off around him. I gotta survive this. But he's a lot more in control in this case. He's more or less directed and trying to get out of there. So it was definitely good. Like the Daredevil stunt coordinators are still top notch.
Yeah.
They should be involved in every one of those Netflix series. And for the most part, I disliked especially Nadeem. I didn't like him at first, but then he grew on me a lot.
Let me cut you off for a second, because that started reminding me of The Punisher with Agent Madani. Almost the same, hey, well, the police, they're always one step behind the criminal, one step behind the superhero. Eventually, they get the idea that the superhero is trying to help. They're not the bad guy. I just didn't like it at first, but they did redeem his character.
Well, you know what? They did the same thing in Luke Cage with Misty Knight.
Yeah. I mean, it seems to be a formula where less involve the police to some extent. I mean, Madani and Nadeem probably have the bulk of the season, like those 2 seasons. Misty, she's integral to the story, but these people are just, hey, well, we created a character or pulled a character from a comic book, stuck them into the season. Go ahead, Keith.
Well, in the case of Nadeem, the difference with him wasn't that he didn't believe Daredevil or didn't believe what was happening. He actually didn't peg Daredevil as being involved in the whole thing until they had to dress up and made that attack on the paper.
So, the Kingpin is out on house arrest. He's manipulating the FBI into believing that he's on the straight and narrow. He's trying to help. He's really doing it out of love because he wants his female interest from season 2 to be able to come back to the United States. That's the whole deal, that if he cooperates, she's able to come back. The introduction of another villain, it started off awesome. Dex, Poindexter, villain in the Daredevil sense, but the way they introduced him and his backstory well done, but they kind of tail off on his character because they start going into he's kind of psychotic, deranged. When I wish they had either one just kind of left his character working for Kingpin outright. They try to take him that he got manipulated, but the way they introduce him is that he's an FBI sharpshooter, and that's his background.
The link between him and Kingpin was interesting. And for the most part, I think a lot of the characters were split into two camps. There were the characters who were involved with Daredevil and the characters that were involved with Kingpin directly.
Yeah.
And both being manipulated by both characters. That's kind of where the whole thing was. The whole thing with the Dean kind of being involved with his story arc and everything, and just being caught up in Kingpin's web. Eventually, the big twist that happens with him, it just showed that the level of the Kingpin's manipulation.
Yeah, so the Kingpin,
manipulate.
at least to Karen, she was like, well, he's always one step ahead. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. And he was way ahead, way ahead.
So what you're saying that Kingpin was a fucking beast in this?
Yes.
They took the Godfather movies and he just applied that to the Kingpin. And Vincent D'Onofrio, he knocked out the park.
Yeah, I cannot see anybody else as Kingpin because he has like everything down. Just he is a different person than Vincent D'Onofrio in any other movie, TV show that he's ever been in.
The way he kind of plays the Kingpin as being methodical, but with this thinly veiled brutality, pops off every once in a while, but everyone knows that's his Achilles heel, that you get under his skin, he'll flip out and try to kill you.
Yeah.
So everyone tries to pull his strength, and he just he either lets them think they can, or he does it, but he's got another plan to back up to.
He has a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
I mean, the twist for him was that the woman he wanted, Vanessa, was just as ruthless as he is.
Yeah, she, in the second season, at some point she's just oblivious to what's going on, and then she realizes that Wilson Fisk is, or has always been a criminal. She gets sent away because he doesn't want her to get captured. And this season she comes back, she's like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and kill Agent Nadeem. I want my future, I want to get married, and that's it. Then another thing that happens in this season is that they delve a little bit more into Matt Murdock's backstory. A lot into Matt Murdock's backstory. It is really 4 things this season. It is Matt Murdock, his backstory, Kingpin manipulating the FBI, Poindexter, and his backstory. It is just really all those things that comprise this season. And Agent Nadeem.
Karen Page's backstairs story. Actually, we finally figure out what she did. We see more about Foggy's
family.
With their backgrounds.
Yeah, so everything's kind of involving family. Poindexter, his family was very non-existent, and he winds up in an orphanage. Matt Murdock more or less grew up in an orphanage. Wilson Fisk killed his father. Karen Page, her backstory with her family and her brother. And then Agent Nadeem's trying to do everything for his family, so everything's just revolving around family. So Matt Murdock always goes to a church to confess, and one of the priests, what happens is that he finds out that the nun at the church is his mother.
So I don't know if you've ever read those comic books, James. Did you ever read the Daredevil comic books?
Yeah, I did.
So you read it when Frank Miller took over, right?
Yeah, that's when the whole Elektra, Bullseye, and all that shit really started.
Yeah, well, the whole big arc was the whole big arc. You knew that his mother was the one who gave him up was a nun. That was Sister Maggie.
I didn't expect to go there in this though.
Well, I was saying, I knew they were going to go there when they ended the Defenders. They said, get Sister Maggie. I was like, oh, they're going to bring his mom into it. Then I realized, not many people read the Daredevil comics kind of know that Matt Murdock's mother was a nun who she didn't exactly break her vows, but before she took her vows, she had a kid.
Because if I remember correctly, maybe it's just I'm just wrong, but I could have sworn that he's a devout Catholic. I know that much.
Yeah.
And was he raised in
he was raised
orphanage, like a coven?
Yeah, he was raised
a nurse orphanage.
Yeah, she raised him.
Yeah,
she actually raised him.
All right, so I wasn't tripping.
So for him,
it makes sense. I did not expect the season to bring her in. Heard the name, maybe that was just like a Easter egg or something.
He feels betrayed because he grew up thinking his mom died, or the whole time that his mother is taking care of him and trying to raise him and to prevent him from going down the wrong path. He says that, hey, well, this was going to happen regardless. Let's just talk about certain characters. So you already know about Daredevil, Matt Murdock. We know about Kingpin. So what did you think of Poindexter, the agent
Giving
Poindexter?
Bullseye a backstory, sort of an origin story, was interesting. That they deviated his origin from the comic book
They had to.
a lot, but they didn't deviate his ability. He was just like
throwing knives, throwing glass.
Paper clips, he ran pencils, he was just tossing them and curving them around walls. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, he was taking them out. I was like,
Bullseye was a mutant or something like that?
Not in this.
Had,
I mean, again, in this one, he's a FBI sharpshooter, or he starts out as that because Kingpin, he's being transferred to his house arrest area, which turns out to be a hotel that he owns. It's attacked by the Albanians, and then Poindexter just comes out, just laying waste to everybody, throwing his gun at people.
Poindexter in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's his name, Agent Poindexter.
They just call him Dex.
Everyone calls him Dex. So the thing is, they basically just gave Bullseye an origin story. That's all. He really didn't have one. He was just a guy who, he's a guy with skills, and his whole interest was like, he was kind of the anti-Daredevil. He didn't care what, but he was just out to kill. And he was the guy that worked for the Kingpin that took care of business. And
it's like you think me the news.
Bullseye hated Daredevil because he made a miss. And he's been obsessed with him ever since, and that's the comic books. But in this one, it's a little more than that.
He's a kid, starts out playing baseball. He's a good pitcher.
Yeah, so whether or not he's a mutant or not, like with mutant powers, I don't think he ever was. I know he got some like tech put in him or something. Like got some distance, and that was it.
Grab a pencil, grab a pen.
I mean, he jacked him up, man. He was all fucked up. That was almost bleeding out and stuff. He's like, what the heck?
He did stab him at some point.
He was just like tossing stuff at me. Like, I'm all up. Very well done, the fight sequence. You could tell it because they were both good at what they were doing.
And one thing that I think we forgot to mention is that if you haven't seen the trailers for this, that he dons a Daredevil suit. Framed Daredevil, because Kingpin is just like, hey, well, I can make people hate Daredevil and love me again. So he goes to kill people at the Bulletin where Karen Page works at. So that fight scene is crazy because he just goes in. Matt Murdock's like, hold on, I hear something. Like, who are you? I'm Daredevil. Like, oh snap.
They did a disservice to him at the end.
Yes.
They were trying to wrap stuff up and he'd be just completely off his meds or whatever.
Yeah, I did not like that.
Should have just kept him either loyal or kept him to the point where he was like, well, just made him completely gone mercenary. But instead, he just goes nuts and tries to kill both of them. And it's just like, oh, this is dumb.
And one thing I did enjoy has happened in a lot of these Marvel Netflix series is where the villain and the superhero team up together against somebody. I'm glad they did not do that this season. Because
that three-way fight scene was pretty good. That was actually pretty cool.
Poindexter, he goes crazy, grabs the Daredevil suit, and then Kingpin's getting married. So, like, on his wedding day, fake Daredevil, and then Matt Murdock all at the same time. And then he breaks his back.
Wait, who's back?
Runs into he's doing all his bullseyes moves, glass and knives and stuff at him, and he just runs up at him.
He grabbed the chandelier.
I thought he was going to body slam, but he just picked him up and slammed him against a brick wall. I'm like,
folds him into a V on the side of a wall.
Oh my god, he did a fucking Jason to his ass.
Because the whole thing is that Poindexter survives, but he's paralyzed, and I did not like that end scene for him, but.
Well, it kind of fits in with the comic book and stuff. Like Bullseye got some augmentation that makes him better, makes him a better shot and stuff.
But yeah, him donning the Daredevil costume was hilarious. Hello, Karen. It's nice to see you again.
They would give him his own costume or something like that, or he would at least take the Daredevil costume and like repaint it
and like alter it.
Yeah, alter it, make it have a Bullseye on it. That would have been better.
The whole thing is just that he's trying to destroy Matt Murdock. He's trying to destroy Daredevil.
He's trying to destroy both identities, so he has nowhere to go.
And he creates a Daredevil that winds up destroying him.
That's actually genius as fuck.
Everyone gets brought down to like rock bottomness.
Yeah, so the Kingpin again is just ruthless. He's blackmailing Foggy's family, owns a deli, and he's like suing them through a shell company, trying to ruin them. Karen admits to killing James Wesley, like the helper that he had in the first season. Kingpin goes off on her. At some point, he's hiding out, so all he's doing is just the Daredevil persona. Black mask, Daredevil. And then you have the fake Daredevil, Just
the way you're describing this shit, the fight scenes must be amazing.
that fight scene where he's in
good.
the prison, that beats that one where he was on the stairwell in the first season.
Oh shit! Funny thing about it, man, I know one of the stuntmen that works. Like he was in Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great martial artist, man. So if he's good, I can just imagine the team that he's with.
Yeah, it was all him doing that.
Yeah, it's not like Iron Fist where, hey, they clearly have switched to somebody else. He is hand-to-hand combat, getting thrown down, getting thrown over top of stuff, and the camera's not switching, the camera's not cutting.
That was a good scene. All the action scenes involving him have always been top-notch. And like I said, it's always been unfortunate that the showrunner and the fight choreographer
they don't do everything else.
Has worked on Daredevil. They didn't do it on the other Marvel shows. Like, granted, Iron Fist, second season of Iron Fist, that was a marked improvement.
Yeah.
But not that big of an improvement. And even Luke Cage, that season 2 was a marked improvement on the previous. They need to take a page and understand that it's about the drama's fun, but it's about the action.
Just quick thoughts about Agent Nadeem in his story arc.
I thought it was good. I didn't know where it was going at first, but I like they didn't throw him into some kind of stereotypical role. It's a role that could have been played by just about anybody, but at the same time, Agent Nadeem was just that he was Agent Nadeem. Touches with his family and is showing his heritage, and I like that. They don't force it. I like it when it comes natural like that. You don't just force feed it. I thought his character was great. I enjoyed it. I liked what he was going through, understood what he was going through. Despite being one of the first skeptics, he was the one who caught on to the first one. He was the one who eventually got Fisk. So, but again, it began a little slow. I didn't know where it was going with it at first, but seeing how it went.
Yeah, and all that stuff with the family.
All that stuff that went down, but the big twist that happened, what happened to him, you realize that the Kingpin was no joke.
So he has to go to prison every so often and ask him, like, hey, are you going to confess? And it turns out one day he confesses, and then the whole arc of the story is that the Kingpin had already planned all this. That he has people inside the FBI. He had been doing some stuff to affect Agent Nadeem's family, like his sister-in-law has cancer.
Yeah.
And he, through another company, canceled her health insurance.
So he had to go broke trying to keep his sister-in-law in her meds and everything to pay for her medication. So at the very beginning, the first episode, his wife is complaining about how all the credit cards are maxed out. It was because he'd gotten in debt. And so he's working extra hard to try to get a promotion to get more money into
to get the big one, basically.
So essentially, the Kingpin planned all that so to get him on top of it and stuff like that. And even his boss was trying to keep him out of it. Like, she knew what was going down. And the jack part was that she was like, I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to protect you. It didn't dawn on me until the end of the series, the end of the season, when she said, oh, that's why she was trying to keep him out of all that stuff.
Wilson Fisk had planned all this in order to allow him and his future wife to be together. So, Keith... Oh,
hey, you notice we call him Kingpin all the time, right, James?
So, Keith, what score would you give of Daredevil?
I'm going to say, despite the fact I like a lot of it, it wasn't perfect. It had its flaws. I'm going to rate this a little harshly, so I'm going to give it a 7.5. Not perfect, it's good. It's not as jaw-dropping as the first season of Daredevil, but only because the first season of Daredevil, no one had seen anything like that. We didn't know what to expect from that, and we only had Ben Affleck as Daredevil to kind of balance it out.
Don't ever mention that shit again.
It was a lot more tightly controlled this time, but at the same time, they fell into the same pitfalls that the rest of these Netflix series has had.
It did need to be 13
they're trying
episodes.
to stretch out this material across 13 episodes when it could probably be condensed down to like 8.
Yeah, if this was 10, I think it would have been better because there's a lot of filler, and I'm going to give it a 7.
Way too many filler.
Yeah, we'll give it a 7.5 also. So a lot of it with the filler is the family stuff. There's a lot of Matt talking to...
You know Barry don't like family.
Foggy talking to his family. Karen trying to go home to see her family. Should have just been Kingpin being ruthless. And Matt Murdock trying to stop it. But they go with Poindexter and female that he likes. Was also funny because I didn't understand. It's like, yeah, this seems kind of boring until it was also all part of the plan too. That it was also suicidal, so he worked at a suicide hotline, and there was a woman, female, that worked there with him that he liked a lot, and he was kind of stalking her. The Kingpin knew it, so he had gotten the woman to work at the hotel where he had his house arrest at. Once Kingpin got Poindexter onto his side, he killed her. Get rid of her. That's it. She was gone. And then when he finds out he's riding around in an SUV with the body as Daredevil, it's going on. There's a lot of filler in this. And the second season ruined a lot of stuff because it had the Punisher in it.
I liked it. So
yeah, and that took a different track. So it had Elektra in it. Like this one excludes all that. It excludes the hand, excludes Elektra, and just focuses on Matt and deconstructing him. What was his backstory? There's a lot of vivid dream sequences that happen that kind of got on my nerves after a while because there's points where he's thinking about something, but it's the Kingpin talking to him or his belief that the Kingpin is talking to him. And there's a whole bunch of that is that filler. So if I had to rate the seasons, it'd be 2, 1, and then this one. And not to say the season's bad, it's just not what I would have been expecting and should have been shorter. Beast Game Podcast.